Welcome, O wanderers of the wavelength, to the inner sanctum of the Chilluminati. You didn't find us by accident. You were tuned in. Behind this veil of shadow and signal, we gather, not to follow, but to question. So light your candle and lean back 33 degrees. Close the blinds and forget what they told you was real.
That you can't go on, and you're sinking low. Just
a regular job like an office job,
Yeah.
you will pretend to be a whole different person for 8 hours a fucking day every day of your life that you're there.
Yeah.
That is a lot of time bullshitting.
Yeah.
And when you get out of all that bullshitting, there's not much you left. Whatever could have been you never grew, because whatever could have been you was stifled by fluorescent lights and a fucking monitor. If you have a regular job like an office job,
Yeah.
you will pretend to be a whole different.
Poseidon rose and looked at me and smiled. Everybody looked electric underneath the melting sky. Ferris wheels were turning slowly like the pupil of your eye.
It's a Saturday night. Chilluminati. I'm Jimmy. Rock and Rio. Are you there?
I am here.
Excellent.
Body gets out clean, then disappear beneath the sea.
Well, listen here. Santa Cruz is Surf City, man. It's not Long Beach.
It's down. That's it. People move around him without talking about it. He doesn't ask for space. He has it. He leans back like he owns this place. He does. He's the king of the beach. He's the king of the beach. He's the king of the beach.
Are you doing that dance, Rio? With like the two fists going back and forth.
You mean the mashed potato?
Is that what that's called?
Well, there's some form of it.
Yeah, man, I'm doing the mashed potato.
The waves keep going, the waves keep coming, and the waves keep going, and the waves keep breaking, and the waves keep flowing, and still you'll find him there all day and all night.
It's not very chill tonight at the Chilluminati. The mashed potato going on and everything else. What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Hey, we've been talking about this food thing,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it's a thing. It's fucking everywhere. They're finding all kinds of interesting little tidbits in the food supply. It's not looking too good.
Yeah,
Here,
I'm not really into that whole lab-grown meat thing, I'm telling you.
take a listen to this here. Here. Ready? Listen to this.
Slices that's supposed to be cheese does not melt.
That orange slice was banned by the FDA from even being called cheese, because it doesn't start as cheese. It starts as production scraps, painted orange with a dye also found in floor wax, liquefied into a lifeless slurry, then doused in fungicide so it can sit on a shelf for without going bad, then extruded directly into plastic packaging, bleeding known plasticizers into every single slice. You're not eating cheese. You're eating an industrial byproduct that the government legally can't call food. And it's in millions of American fridges right now.
Oh my God, this is it. Yeah.
Furious couple just went viral.
You see what I'm saying, man?
Yeah. That's why you gotta buy that,
No, man.
it's gotta say cheese on it. Not cheese food.
No. That
Not
says
pasteurized,
cheese.
processed.
It says cheese on it. It says American cheese.
It says pasteurized, processed American cheese. It's not real cheese.
Nothing you're eating is real anymore. Period. The end. No fucking end of the story, dude. It's gone beyond anything recognizable at this point.
Well, I know. I've even seen a thing on. I mean, obviously, we've talked about fake steaks, right? But I get the whole chunk of meat. But be making a brisket this weekend because got time on Monday. So, but I've even seen fake eggs now. Like they're simulated eggs. They're not made by chickens. It's pretty scary, dude.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of some of these windows I got here. Hang on a second. Yeah.
You need it in the chat says gay surfers eat fake cheese.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. You can't have an
Well,
attitude of
the gay part and the fake cheese part. There
Either
is
one.
something wrong.
Either
There's definitely
one.
something wrong with the fake cheese part.
Either one. People can't help it. They don't know there's fake cheese. Until you tell them.
Weren't you talking the other day about fake chocolate?
Yeah. Well, there's no peanut butter in Reese's peanut butter cups anymore either. Here.
Well, I mean, I don't generally eat Reese's peanut butter cups. But
Yeah, okay, but people do though. And they think they're Reese's
there's no
peanut.
peanut in peanut butter cups in there?
No.
You could ask me that,
Here.
and the answer is yes. This is real meat, no compromise, made in front of you.
So you grew this chicken in these tanks behind us
Yes.
without ever slaughtering a chicken?
You could ask me that 1,000 times, and the answer is yes. This is real meat, no compromise, made in front of you.
So you grew this chicken in these tanks behind us
Yes.
without ever slaughtering a chicken?
You could ask me that 1,000 times, and the answer is yes. This is real meat, no compromise, made in front of you.
So you grew this chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go, man. Anything you're eating at this point, if you're eating in restaurants, and even if you're eating at home, how the fuck are you gonna know now at this point?
Well, it's a good question. It really is.
Yeah. The question is, man, if it comes in a package, you shouldn't eat it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's pretty.
And,
much,
at least it used to be that you'd read the label, and if you
fucking
couldn't
Christ,
pronounce
man.
the words, you wouldn't eat it. But now it's like it just says chicken on it, and it's not actually a chicken. know. It says eggs, but it's not an egg that came from a chicken.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So, hey, it's Saturday night. Are we gonna open up these phones?
Yeah, we can open up the phones.
All right.
You want to open them up now?
Well, we can open them up whenever. Just keep them open. And that way, yeah, not quite, Ronan. Epic's definitely not king of the beach.
Well, he might be king of the Hawaiian shirt, though.
Maybe.
The pineapple shirt. You never know. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun.
so there was like I think there was I don't know, there was a 6.0 earthquake over there on the Big Island.
Oh.
Today.
Is he out there?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I know he's out there, but I mean, is he out there, like, in our territory out there?
I have no idea.
I have not seen a message from the journeyman today, so.
It's not my chance. It's not my turn to watch him, man. You know, I do other shit in between now and the time we do a show. I'm not sitting around looking to see if, you know, what's going on. I show up just like you. You know, I show up a little ahead of time, but I didn't see any messages either.
Yeah. Huh. You know, I hope he's all right out there with the earthquake and, you know, the volcanoes and...
Yeah, I'm sure he's fine.
You know, maybe he's out spearfishing.
Who knows? 717-417-8284 is the number to call. If you want to give us a call.
Hi, I'm JT, and I'm a
Hey,
result
JT,
hunter. The search
get the
engine
fuck
for
are you doing in
conservatives.
here?
Let me
Get
just
out. You're not.
does.
Get
First
out.
of all,
I
big
said
tech
get
right now
the
is run
fuck out.
elitist
Now.
people. All happen to be the same way, and who
How are these people getting in here, man?
I don't know. We got to beef up the
Fucking left
security
the door
a little bit,
open.
I think.
People see us everywhere. They think you really care. But myself, I can't see. I know it's only make believe. My one and only prayer is that someday you'll care. My hopes, my dreams come true. My one and only you. No one will ever know how much I love you so. My only prayer will be someday you'll care for me, but it's only make believe. My hopes, my dreams come true. My life I'd give for you.
Robert Gordon.
My heart a wedding ring.
The simpler time.
My all, my everything. My heart I can't control.
Man, I'll tell you. Did you see? Have you ever seen Robert Gordon?
Yes, actually, I've met Robert Gordon.
Have you?
Yes.
I saw him 3 times, man.
He was excellent. He's an excellent dude too.
He is. I met
Or
him.
was, I should say.
I met him too. He was at the Keystone 3 times.
I met him in Hoboken.
Too fast to live, too young to die. When I do, no one will cry. Ooh, man, that won't hurt me. Well, I cranked it up, hold on the gas. If you mess with me, I drop you fast. With desire.
The way I walk is just the way I walk. The way I talk is just the way I talk. The way I smile is just the way I smile. Touch me, baby, and I go home wild. The way I love is just the way I love. Come on and be my little turtle dove. Touch me, baby, it feels so good. I feel feel as though I wanna, then I don't know if I should. The way you love me got to suit my style. Oh, little baby, I will say goodbye. Love.
Oh, yeah.
I can't stand to see you sad. I can't bear to hear you cry. If you can't tell me what you need, all I can do is wonder why. Someday, somewhere, someday, somewhere, someday,
Someday, some way, dude. Someday, some way. Well, there he goes. Is he dead?
I think he is now, yes.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I have to look up to confirm, but I'm pretty sure he did pass.
Yeah, Mike. Rockabilly Saturday Night. Ground Zero Plus. Are we on Rev Radio, or did you even say hello over there? Let's find out.
I have not heard back about being on Saturday nights on Rev Radio.
Well, what are you going to do? I guess you gave it the old college try.
2022 he passed.
Yeah, I don't know. Who the hell knows? You didn't know that? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We didn't even play Black Slacks. I mean, there's a bunch of them. Man, this one's a good one, too. People know this one. Don't fucking throw me a commercial either. I'll drop you in right here where you stand. All right, here we go.
Well, it's a rockabilly boogie. A rockabilly boogie. A rockabilly boogie. A rockabilly boogie. A rockabilly boogie tonight. Well, I know a little spot at the edge of town where you can really pick 'em up and set 'em down. It's a little place called a hideaway. They do the rockabilly to the break of day. Well, it's a rockabilly boogie.
Well, you know, everybody knows Robert Gordon for his rockabilly, but, you know, before he went rockabilly, he was punk in the 70s.
Well, I don't know. His material definitely is better on the on this tip, in my opinion. And I don't know. Who was in this? Was Link Ray in here? Who's playing guitar?
That sounds like a Link Ray.
Well, there's a little old Susan.
Yeah, there they go.
Oh, he did definitely play with Link Ray. He played with the Heartbreakers too for a little bit, and Danny Gatton. But
yeah. What about
Tough Darts was the name of his punk band.
Yeah, Your Love Is Like a Nuclear Waste was the name of their song.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
I've played it on the show before.
The business card?
I played it on the show before. Hang on. Yeah. They used to, that actually got airplay.
Yeah, I remember.
Black slack. on, I'm raring to go. When I go places, I just don't care. You know why you see what I wear.
All right, there he goes. I don't know. I don't know why I went down that rabbit hole, but there I went.
I don't know. Robert Gordon's a good subject, man. He was a class act. You know, his early stuff was, you know, very 50s, 60s rock and roll. 70s he went punk, and then he went like kind of combined the two rockabilly. You know, in the later 70s and 80s. So, you know, he had a very interesting career of genres.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You've seen these videos. They're like AI generated. It's like different eras, like the 80s, the 90s, you know, 2000s. You seen any of those?
Yeah, I have. You know, like I saw one for like TV shows where they, you know, the guys just walking through the studios from set to set, seeing all the actors and, you know, the soap operas or the, you know, taking his picture with the A-team.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, no, the ones I've seen those, but the ones I'm talking about are more like they're just showing random fucking people that you've never seen before. They're just people set in this 80s theme, you know, or whatever. The one I'm thinking about specifically right now is this one I saw earlier today. And there was this, I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain it. There doesn't seem, when you're looking at these, there doesn't seem to be this fucking just pressure everywhere. It seems like shit is more wide open. You know, and there was this one particular shot, and it was like of a mall, say in the 80s. I think it was 87. And it was a shot like along some mall. And in the shot, there's a fucking Radio Shack sitting there. And then there's a big Blockbuster video sticking out. And then further on down, there's like a fucking Pizza Hut sitting there.
And all three, well,
pretty much.
2 out of the 3 are gone, and Pizza Hut is not the same as it was back in the day.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that when you were fucking in the 80s and you're looking back at the 50s and shit, and you're looking at those TV shows and you're thinking, you know, look at how much of a simpler time it was and this and that. And here we are in 2026, and we're thinking in the 80s, we're looking back at the 50s thinking it was a simpler, easy time. And even in the 80s, how complicated we thought it was, you know, with all the new stuff that was happening and all that.
Yeah, and now we look back at the 80s and go, man, I wish I could go back there again, right?
Well, not only wishing you could go back there, but how simple it was. But in the time, the mindset of everyone was that we were fucking, you know, we're on the precipice of the future, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, we use CB radios in our cars and, you know, didn't have the phones. That was a big thing. You know, you might have had a pager at the end of the 80s or early 90s. But
yeah, that's not what I mean, man.
Yeah. Musicians were real people on stage that played their instruments. You know, you went to a concert, you actually saw a band, not a bunch of posers. You know, television was still on a CRT. You know, 13 channels, had to get up and turn a dial. If you were lucky, you had a remote. If you were even luckier, you had cable with the, you know, the click box that had the push buttons on it. And you could get like 50 channels. Now we got all this technology weighing us down. You know, somebody texts you, don't answer them for an hour, see what happens. They get all freaked out, think you're dead. You actually had to talk to the answering machine to leave a message on tape that somebody would hear when they got home. Not could listen to it 30 seconds after you called and ignored them. I don't know. There's all sorts of stuff that is different now. It would be great if we could go back to the simpler times. Are you there? Where'd you go?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh. It's not like you not to have a response.
I was just listening.
Hey, Bowling says useless information to evoke imagination.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It just seems like there was less of a pressure. Things were more spread out. And I think maybe because between now and then there was way less people. It was a whole fucking different environment. You might say at that point in the 80s, you might even say that, you know, people were aspiring to hit greater heights, but I would say since then, it's been a degradation of everything, and everything just getting reduced down to the lowest common denominator. In other words, what I'm saying is, first of all, there's nothing at this point left to the imagination. You know, so like, for example, people used to get dressed up to go out. People used to, in other words, there was a whole fucking industries built on people getting dressed up to go out somewhere.
Yeah, you used to, you know, put your gig on to go out to the nightclub, right? You know, I mean, big hair and makeup in the 80s was an art form.
Not even in the 80s.
Girls would spend like 2 hours doing it just to, you know.
I'm not even talking about the 80s, just the 80s, but we can,
Well, yeah.
I mean, we can stay there, but I'm saying even back, I mean, if you look back in olden times, when people went out, they got fucking dressed up. Everybody was wearing a coat.
You went to church in a suit and tie, man.
Everybody was wearing a coat.
Sneakers
when
like
you saw people walking down the street, they were dressed. Women were dressed with these giant dresses and so on and so forth. I mean, there's always been this presentation, the human beings festooning out and around with their fucking brightest feathers or their best costume to put their fucking best foot forward, you know, and we're not living in those times anymore. For the most part, people don't do shit. They don't fucking leave their house. Okay, there's no, the whole reason for getting dressed up and all that. Are you going out to dinner? I mean, I know people are going out to dinner. I'm not saying they're not, but for the most part, is anybody getting dressed up? Is anybody wearing, I mean, it's at this point, it's gotten reduced down to this whole like, you know, everything's casual. Man, you can go wear your Star Wars pajamas down to fucking Walmart and buy yourself up something.
Yeah,
you know I mean?
that's a level I don't understand. You know, I mean, you know, I don't dress anything special to go to the pizza place.
That's what I'm
going
saying.
to a nice
Shit
restaurant,
is being
I would
reduced
probably
down.
put on you know, at least a button-down shirt or something to look a little presentable.
Shit is being reduced down to the lowest common denominator, man. Language, I mean, like I'm saying, okay, go from let's just say the 1800s. From 1800s, a person going out, a woman going out, she's wearing a fucking dress that goes all the way to the floor with bloomers and all kinds of other shit and fucking boots and all this shit. Cut to today, man. There's no, you know, people's shit is just hanging out there for, you know, it's right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no, like I say, there's no
pair of sweatpants, and you know how many people you see in the airport just wearing their sweatpants and a t-shirt. You know, like, I mean, I get it if you're gonna be on a 10-hour flight, you want to be comfortable, but you know, Nobody needs to see you hanging out.
I don't know. It's obvious, it's starting to look a lot like, realistically, and I mean, I'm not even being sarcastic. It's starting to look a lot like Universe 25 experiment, where they built this whole habitat for the rats to live in, and it became, the extinction generation. It's starting to look like the Earth itself is a fucking Universe 25 experiment, where they put a bunch of humans in some area where the fucking shit was already built up. I mean, and, in each time they put this group of genetically modified organisms into this environment, into this Universe 25 environment we call Earth. Each time it plays itself out. They give it a period of time to play out.
Mm-hmm.
And every time it gets to a certain point, they go, fuck, man, no, this isn't it. And then, pew.
And we all extinct ourselves.
Yeah, there's a flood or something.
Yeah.
Or some, there's a fucking meteorite or whatever. There's a comet or whatever. There's some shit that happens.
Well, that's the theoretical reasons. We don't have any proof of any of that.
Well, so what?
We do have proof that, things are not what they seem.
What costume are you wearing when you go out every day? You wearing a costume anymore? Everybody used to wear a costume now,
Well,
just like Joe Rogan.
My particular costume is, work boots and blue jeans.
So you're playing the role of the working man, and you got your fucking working man costume on. So when you stop by the donut shop, and the person looks over at you, he goes, "Yeah, that guy's a fucking working man. I can tell. I can tell because he's wearing them boots. I can see that.
He's got the boots and the stained jeans, right? There's a ripped T-shirt.
Yeah.
He got some dirt on his face.
I don't know. Every day is Halloween. Sam says, "Yeah, well, kind of it is, man. Because you go to work and you play some fucking role,
Well, I mean, even if you're an office guy, right? We used to call the office people suits because they all wore suits, right?
They don't wear suits anymore.
Well, some of them do. Some of them don't.
No, they don't.
Depends on your position. If you're manager,
no,
you're
they
supposed to wear a
don't.
suit.
I'll tell you what, man. That other thing that we talked about last week about Harvard and Yale only producing high-paid workers. That really does explain a lot, man. It really does, because it really doesn't make any difference where you are in the food chain, because everybody's here in the same open air situation, the open air plantation, and you can only go as far as you can get yourself, however you get yourself there, whether it's through hard work or some sort of a degree that puts you in a position of responsibility that has money or salaries that come along with it. But irrespective of that, you still got a fucking boss. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how high up you are in the chain. There's already
unless you're the CEO, right? Then you still got to answer to the shareholders.
That's right.
So
you're never really. You're always getting paid.
Even the boss has a boss.
Exactamundo. Then there's the other people. Those are the people that own all that, And those are the people whose names you never hear. You only hear the workers, And, I'm going to say right now, it seems to me that, if you went to a room and you were invited somewhere into a situation, and you showed up, and it was a dinner party, the people or the host of the person that invited you to that party, or the people around the table at that party, at that level of party, you would tell them everything about yourself by what you did in those first moments when you arrived. What you did when you sat down, what you did with your napkin, so on and so forth. All those things tell those people what level and where you come from. And
right.
I'm just saying, there's a certain etiquette that's
Well,
known.
what was that? I was just going to say, what was that book, Mrs. Something's Book of Etiquette? I'm sure somebody in the chat knows about the Book of Etiquette.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, there's a certain if you don't perform in that moment, there's a certain etiquette. You basically let people know exactly where you're at, what level of game you're playing, or where you're coming from. You know what I mean? And it's an interesting.
Emily Post Book of Etiquette. That's what it was.
Emily Post.
Yes.
Can't say that I read it.
Oh, you should. It's
Well, so in that situation, I would reveal myself in ways that I didn't realize. Even though I might be a smart person, even though I might have a good idea, and even though so on and so forth, I'm in a room with people that can change everything. And unbeknownst to me, they're sizing me up and know everything about me before I even fucking open my mouth.
Mm-hmm. Well, I work in an environment with where many of my clients are a different class of people, and they're in the 7 and 8 figure range, and you can tell who the old money and the new money is. Right? There's a very distinct difference between the people who are always raised, and have, ancestral money and just are well cultured and well mannered and well maintained, and then the guys who just, they hit it rich a few years ago or whatever, or, they were some of the .com millionaires or whatever, however they made their money. But the older generations, the historical money, they're generally raised to be polite, to be courteous, to treat everybody the same. And it's a very interesting thing, because you would not think that those people were actually better mannered, but like they were just. They don't like lord the fact that they're multi-millionaires over the guy who's fixing their car. They treat you like an equal, which is much different because than the guys who got the newer money people who well, I'm driving this and you're not. There's a whole different attitude.
When I was in Aspen,
involved in that.
when I was up in Aspen, the company I work for, they used to have a saying. You know what it was? Billionaires are cool, and millionaires are assholes.
Yeah, that's probably that's a good way to put it.
I know.
Some of the nicest people that come in, are those people.
Well, let's put it this way. You can afford to relax when you're a billionaire. And when you're a millionaire, you're still doing what I was talking about earlier, which is festooning around with your fucking costume on.
Right.
With your shit. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't think in 2026, I think festooning around with your shit is over. There's not only that, there's no reason for it. In other words, if you have some shit, you better fucking stay quiet about it and keep it over there and have it stashed or whatever. It ain't, man. I was looking at this video of this mall. I'm just looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, this video was before you saw these mobs literally fucking killing each other over fucking flat screens. Remember that shit? Remember like 10 years ago? Black Friday? Right. People just fucking killing themselves over fucking... Just mobs of people just beating the shit out of each other trying to get the last fucking flat screen for $69.95 or whatever. Remember that shit?
Yeah. Well, back then they were expensive too. Right?
I'm just saying, those days of those older ladies walking around with fucking gold rings on every finger and a gold chain and their watch and their diamond ring, fucking flaunting around, going to the store and going over and getting something to eat.
Yeah, now they show up in Spanx and
I'm just saying, it's not
tank tops with
anyone who has anything ain't walking around flaunting it like they did back in the 80s. I'm saying.
That's because they get mugged nowadays.
No shit, Sherlock. That's what I'm saying. It was fucking back then, even though there was crime, it wasn't like people just walking around with their gold. Who's walking around with gold, dude, right now? Are you walking around with your gold? Are you wearing, is anyone walking around with their Rolex?
I don't wear gold.
Just fucking, yeah, man, here it is. It's my fucking watch. This friend of the family, the dude went to New York. He went to some bar, and he was drinking. He's just some fucking bar. He went somewhere. I don't know where he went. He was at a bar. He's drinking. It was like a club situation. And this guy's wearing his fucking Rolex with him. He's got his Rolex. He's wearing it. He meets up with some dude. Okay. Dude befriends him. They're joking. And let's go to this other club. Meanwhile, the dude called his buddies. So on the way down to the next club they were walking down to, he gets jumped by 3 fucking dudes that steal his Rolex and bang his head or whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So when I heard the story, dude, do you think I felt sorry for the guy at all? I didn't. I thought to myself, what the fuck do you expect, man? If you go walking around with your fucking Rolex somewhere, you should be expecting trouble, man. Well, shouldn't you?
Well, it depends on where you're going with that Rolex on.
If you get your ass beat wearing a Rolex.
If you're going to a black tie affair and you're dressed up with other people who have that kind of money, then your Rolex is probably not in danger. But you're hanging out at the blues club down in the hood. You don't want to be flashing that stuff. Walking around with a $70,000 watch on your wrist is just begging for somebody to knock you in the head.
Well, so when you get to that point, which is where we are, there's no point in any of the bullshit. In other words, people driving around in cars to make it, what difference does it make if you have a car? Do people get cars because they fucking want to drive around in their car and go fast? Or what are these cars? What are these fucking, I'm serious, man. What are these cars? Classic car. So I go buy say I come over to your place, I buy a classic car. Fucking what am I going to do with it? Drive around and fucking roll the window down and, fucking play the radio? Well, why am I driving around? So everyone comes up and looks at my fucking car, man. Hey, man, nice car. Nice car, man. Hey, nice car. I mean, what's the point of having that car?
Well, some people do it for the compliments, the nice car. Oh, yeah. But I've seen the shift in that most people who do it now have some nostalgic reason for it, right? It was their father's car, it was their grandpa's car, it was the car they got their first car from high school, whatever. Most people now are not interested in having a hot rod because having a hot rod's fun, or they like to drive fast. Those people, they go across the street and they buy themselves a used Porsche, to go play around in or something. They don't spend $100,000 on restoring an old Camaro. If there's no good reason for it, they'll go across the street and spend $100,000 on.
So I get a Porsche, I got the dough for one of those Camaros. Just hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got the dough for one of those Camaros. What the fuck am I doing with it? I'm pulling it in my driveway. I'm driving it down to Starbucks to get a coffee. I'm fucking jetting over. Going down the hardware store to pick up a fucking. The thing is, what I'm saying is, I think I'm trying to say, I think these days are over, dude. I think these days of people.
I can honestly say that probably I could think of maybe 1 or 2 clients I have out of the hundreds that I've had over the years are younger than me. Everybody who's into the classic cars is my age or older.
All right, so what's going to happen then? So, because Gen Z doesn't seem as stoked on classic cars and shit like that as people were in the past.
No, they definitely are not.
No, and the thing is because why did people have those cars in the fucking first place? So there were some guys that had those cars that were trying to go fast and whatever and built these, hot rods and this and that. But really, subsequently, why did everybody else get those cars? Well, why did they want them? Because when you had one, all the chicks thought you were cool. That's why.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a status symbol. Or at least it was,
There's no question. If women weren't attracted to dudes with those cars, I bet you way less dudes would have been fucking with them cars.
Well, now, see, and you're right, because there's the cultural shift. Women don't want the guy who's, driving the 72 Camaro anymore.
Exactly.
They want the guy who's driving the $150,000 Mercedes. Right?
See, I think you're onto something there. I think you're definitely onto something there.
They don't see the guy in the car as the cool guy who's out to have some fun. They're looking at how expensive is that guy's car and how much money can he get me?
Well, here, man,
that's the difference between.
Let me pour some gasoline on your fire. How about this? How about in the 60s and the 70s, for whatever reason, there was a natural attraction to these vehicles and the guys that had them for women, let's just say. But that was a raw form. In other words, it just happened organically. And then once they figured that shit out, they're like, wait a minute. For some reason, women seem to be infatuated with men's cars. Let's just, instead of having these fucking cars, let's just upgrade it to the more expensive car that women are attracted to. In other words, they started telling dudes, hey man, women aren't attracted to these cars anymore. They're attracted to these Mercedes. So now you got to up your game and buy the Mercedes. See what I mean? It ups the whole consumerism of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you can see it, can't you? You see what I'm saying? I think it's probably possible, man, at that point. But no, seriously, the whole reason everybody does everything is because they're festooning in some way to get attention in society and civilization. Another reason, so you see some, like a guy say, you're worker guy, worker bee, or whatever, you're wearing your boots, got your shirt or whatever. You're in a certain class or a certain area, and then there's other people that are dressed a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Presenting it, but it could be the same person. You just change the costume, and all of a sudden, you change the costume and go over there and hang around with other people that are wearing the same costume as you. All of a sudden, you're in a group.
It's funny because I always felt like a fish out of water in those situations where I've had to get dressed up and be that, like I myself have always been a, jeans and t-shirt kind of person. And I always hated the suit and tie. And I've had to wear it for certain jobs in my life and whatever, but I always felt wrong wearing it, And, maybe it's just because I didn't come from that class of society that, expected that on a regular basis. But I always felt like putting the shirt and tie on was a costume,
See, you'd be uncomfortable in that room with the rest of the dudes wearing suits. You'd be wearing that suit that day. And because you don't wear suits normally, you got the suit, you're wearing it, but you didn't wear the right shoes. And the first thing that motherfucker does when you come in the room is look at your shoes, and all of a sudden, boom!
Busted, right? He knows that you're not the same as him.
Exactamundo.
Yeah.
You can have
one of the weirdest things I've noticed about these playboys who want to. This is a new money thing, right? This is a young money thing. They don't wear socks with their boat shoes. They wear they have their Gucci jeans and their whatever brand of shirt and their whatever $600 shoes they're wearing, but they don't have enough money to buy a pair of Hanes to put underneath them, or even even if you really want to look nice, you get some Argyles or something, but they walk around with no socks and these $600 shoes. Like, what is that? Like,
I don't know, man.
But it's a thing that they do. You can always tell who the new money people are because they don't wear socks.
Well, I don't know. It seems like it seems more and more like, especially now, You want to have less and less of a public profile. In other words, you see these handbags. A bunch of these people are all crazy. Women are crazy about these handbags, paying all this money for them. There's the people that have money don't buy them handbags. You know what I mean? You don't see any people with money having one of those handbags. I'm telling you right now, if you got money, if someone has money, they don't even walking around showing it.
Yeah.
If there are people who are walking around,
if you know how to look at someone, you can tell whether they're actually someone who has, does well in life or does not. Because they carry themselves differently. That's what I said. Like, it's a difference between old money and new money, and people pretending to have, ghetto fabulous.
Well, that's how people breach into the zones they don't belong in. Somehow, like I said, you just wearing the costume.
No.
They just wear the costume and try to go in there.
Yeah, but they don't get the costume right. That's the
no.
whole
The
thing.
thing is, they get the costume right, but when they sit down, they didn't fucking do the right thing with their napkin.
Yeah.
Okay,
they didn't read Emily
wait.
Post's book of etiquette. That's
exactly. Well, that's the thing is, what I'm saying is, there was a certain level of distinction in society. Okay, and there used to be this level that everybody was at, right? But slowly over time, that level has been going down and down and down, lower and lower. Like I say, it's being reduced down to the lowest common denominator, man. Before you know it, we're all going to be going, and fucking just grunting. Well, we won't even need to talk anymore. You know what I'm saying? We're being devolved, man. That's why Devo was so brilliant. Even in the whole thematic adventures in some of the lyric. You know what I mean? It's de-evolution. And that's the thing too, is everybody talks about Darwin and evolution, but the people don't realize or don't even know or don't ever bring up the fact that there's de-evolution in that book. Anyway. We got to give out the phone number now. 717-417-8284 is the number to call. Yeah. All right. What else?
I don't know. Well, there's sock discussion going on, and
the socks.
The low.
See,
the
discussion's being reduced down to the lowest common denominator.
Right, the low profile socks.
No, I'm just saying. Even in this, I'm just saying that's what's so.
I prefer the over the calf kind myself, and no, I have not worn pantyhose.
That's what's so great about this show.
Try wearing pantyhose.
That's what's so great about this show, is every single time we talk about something, the something that we're talking about actually happens on the show in real time, which is really fucking absolutely fantastic. So I'm glad that the conversation has been reduced down to the lowest common denominator, because at this point we're at the end of the first hour.
Are we really?
So we've exhausted our supply. Wow. Now it's time to submerge and grab some air. All right, so we'll be back in a couple of minutes, Rock and Rio?
Absolutely.
All right.
What? What was that, man? What the hell was that, man? Huh? No, man, hey, man, wow, I was watching this object, man, like the satellite that we saw the other night, right? And it was just going right across the sky, man, and then, it just suddenly, it just changed direction and went, whizzing right off, man. It flashed.
You're stoned out of your mind, man.
Oh, yeah, man, hey, I'm stoned, man? But, I saw a satellite, man. And it was going across the sky, and it flashed 3 times at me and zigzagged and whizzed off, man. And I saw it.
That was a UFO beaming back at you. Me and Eric Heisman was down in Mexico 2 weeks ago. We seen 40 of them flying in formation. They have got bases all over the world now, They've been coming here ever since 1946, when the scientists first started bouncing radar beams off of the moon. And they have been living and working among us in vast quantities ever since. The government knows all about them.
What are you talking, man?
Well, you just seen one of them, didn't you?
Hey, man, I saw something, man, but I didn't see it working here. You know what I mean?
Well, they are people just like us from within our own solar system, except that their society is more highly evolved. I mean, they don't have no wars, they got no monetary system, they don't have any leaders, because, I mean, each man is a leader. I mean, each man, because of their technology, they are able to feed, clothe, house, and transport themselves equally and with no effort.
Wow.
Neon skies and ultraviolet tides. They ride the comet waves, chrome surfboards gleaming wide. Silver hair like shooting stars, skin kissed by solar flares. Bikini strings untied, floating through the midnight air. Earth boy stop and stare, jaws dropped in the glow. They're calling from the cosmos, baby. Don't you wanna go? Bikini girls from outer space, space, space. Jumping in on every wave, wave, wave. Twisting time and bending light, glowing green and pink tonight. Bikini girls from outer space. Come on, baby, lose your mind. Let's get in a stellar high. They surf the rings of Saturn, grinding diamond dust. Leave a trail of purple fire and pure cosmic lust. One kiss from those alien lips, you'll never be the same. Your heartbeat turns to reverb, screaming out their name. Bikini girls from outer space, space, space. Making heartbeats race, race, race. Melting minds and hearts on fire, taking us much higher. Bikini girls from outer space. They move like liquid mercury under blacklight moons. Feel the gravity slip away.
It's Saturday night. It's the Chilluminati.
I've been smiling through the mirrors. They
answer is yes, yes, yes. This is real meat, no compromise, made in front of you.
So you grew this chicken in these tanks behind us
Yes.
without ever slaughtering a chicken?
You could ask me that 1,000 times, and the answer is yes, yes, yes. This is real meat, no compromise, made in front of you.
So you grew this chicken in these tanks behind us.
Americans understand this. I think almost no country understands that that's what the future of drone war means. The result of this is that the front is largely frozen. It's very hard for either side to go against the other. And people take enormous risks running along the fields, hiding under trees and so forth, while the drone hunters are hunting them. And it's just horrible to watch. And the consequence of this thing is anything that moves is destroyed. So get rid of your tanks, armored personnel carriers, artillery, flamethrowers, all the fun stuff that you see in movies, right? It's sort of over, replaced by these powerful robotic systems. Technically, the way they work is they can work without GPS, they can communicate through electronic warfare. That technology is getting stronger on both sides. So this is the future. The battle now has moved to the mid-strike area, which is roughly 40 to 100 kilometers. And that's where the supply line on the enemy side is, supplying these people who are unfortunately in the foxholes. And that's where the bombing is, and that's where the war is largely being fought right now. And Ukraine is slowly, pretty much stopped Russia's advance, which is extraordinary, and is slowly beginning to respond successfully. You asked about AI. If you take the principle that I described, which is that basically air, land, and sea drones, that is code for robots and automation and AI, they will all be interconnected. They will all operate in the equivalent of swarms, and they'll all operate in what are called coordinated attacks. So a typical example is you'll have a target and you'll surround the target by a number of drones, and you hit it simultaneously, and most targets do not have the ability to simultaneously in a 360 azimuth defend themselves. So that's roughly where we are.
Eyes like lantern, soft and white.
Yes.
Without ever slaughtering a chicken?
You could ask me that.
Lost in the tide. Hold your breath as the daylight fades.
We are moving toward what telecommunications engineers call a perceptive network. This architecture diagram outlines a standard known as Integrated Sensing and Communication, or ISAC. It allows a 6G base station to use its wireless signals to deliver internet data and perform high-resolution radar tracking at the exact same time. The infrastructure used to access the digital world is being re-engineered to observe the physical one, calling into question the security of the architectural boundary. To handle the massive data requirements of 6G, the industry had to move into the terahertz and sub-terahertz frequencies. This chart shows the electromagnetic spectrum and the dramatic distance between these new bands and the crowded microwave frequencies used by 4G and 5G. These extreme frequencies easily penetrate non-metallic building materials, passing through drywall and plastics as if they weren't there. However, biological tissue reacts differently. To a terahertz wave, the human body is highly reflective. This industry diagram shows the result. The network monitors occupancy by bouncing radio signals off human figures, a process called passive sensing. The resolution is high enough to identify specific postures, map an individual's walking gait, and track them.
First of all, thank you all for having me here. Thank you, Sunny, for inviting me. It's really a pleasure to be here. So, like Sunny said, I'm a mathematician at the RAND Corporation, which is a nonprofit, nonpartisan policy think tank. And I'm here to present to you on my work on the Internet of Bodies. So I'll go ahead and get started. So first of all, what is the Internet of Bodies? You know, there's no real universally accepted definition, but the way that we define it is as an ecosystem of internet-connected devices, essentially that monitor the human body and collect personal biometric data. So it's an ecosystem consisting of the devices and the data that they collect. And sort of more formally, the way we define it an IOB device is it has to contain some kind of software or computing capability.
Seven 417-8284 is the number to call. This is Ground Zero Plus. Rock and Real, are you there?
I am here.
Excellent. Well done, hair. Now.
What would you tell someone wwho knows exactly what to do but can't make themselves do
it? These people fucking get in here, man. Get out. Get the fuck out. All right, listen. What the hell were we talking about before that break? So many things. So many things have happened since then.
We were talking about cultural evolutions. But then you got into the bikini girls from Mars, or what? Bikini girls from outer space.
Yeah.
That clip, it's funny because as the clip was playing about the aliens, the first clip you played, I was thinking about, I saw a UFO too at one point in life. That was zigzagging across the sky and blinking lights at us, and it was just funny because I was like, "Yeah, I've seen that too."
Do you ever notice most of the people that get abducted are Caucasians?
Yeah, I have not noticed that, but now that you mention it, yeah, I could see that.
I know, it's fucking weird, isn't it? I guess they know.
Maybe we have a caller.
They want to. Go ahead. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man, I just want to give you a call, give you an update.
Shoot.
On Ground Zero.
Hey, what's going on? Oh, hey, Chris, what's going on?
We've got about 100 people in the Ground Zero room tonight.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Howdy, everyone.
Good to see you. Yeah, hey. Good.
And I put a link in the chat, Jimmy. It's the we got all the Clyde shows loaded up in this AI thing, and you go in there and you ask questions, and it'll give you all the stuff. It's really, really cool. Go in there and try it out. It's like a one of a kind thing. No one else has this kind of thing.
Badass. Man.
So we've got about 1,000 shows in there. That's about 4,000 hours worth of shows in there.
So what does it do?
We're adding more each week. So yeah.
So when you ask a question,
only on into the paranormal or only into the microcosm do you get the sneak peek of Ground Zero.
Badass. Well, let me ask you a question. When you ask a question over there, does it scans all those shows for an answer?
Are they what?
Does it scan all the shows that you put in there for an answer to your question? In other words, does it use the data from all those shows?
Yeah, like if you put what does Clyde, like for example, you go in there and you put what does Clyde really think of UFOs? Right? And it'll go through all the shows and pull out all the times he's ever talked about what he really believes about UFOs.
Yeah.
Whether they're demons or angels or where they come from or whatever.
Killer, man. That sounds cool.
It spits out some really good detailed information. And what we're hoping to do is whenever it mentions an episode, right? Let's say it mentions an episode from 2007, December. And it gives, we'd like to have a link in there that you click the link and it goes to the actual library. We're going to archive all the shows and then it'll play it for you, right? That'd be cool.
That is cool. Wow. Well, there you go. Now, Chris put the link in the chat, so go to that link. Check it out.
There is a positive use of the artificial intelligence.
Yeah. That's fucking killer, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had a habit of taking bad shit about the internet and making it good.
Well,
So,
when Ozzy
you know,
died, I said that they were going to come out with an AI Ozzy, and they're going to. And it's funny because
Yeah.
Trish from the show posted a link. Says
Yeah.
Ozzy's family has taken another step to keep his memory alive. What do you think? And it's Sharon Osbourne to release AI avatar of the late husband Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Right? He'd rise up from the dead from the state below the stage.
There he goes, man. That's what I mean. So, like, soon.
Virtual Ozzy.
Right now, everyone.
Yeah, virtual Ozzy.
Right now, everyone hates virtual reality. But
Hey, we had a chat with Clyde today, and he looked good. He sounded good. He's really ready to leave the place.
Right on.
He's just waiting on these doctors. He thinks the doctors might be milking their Medicaid, right? Because they get probably $1,000, $2,000 a day for him being there, and all they got to do is change out a few things. But that's what he's trying to get rid of, this aperture that he has to take care of to empty out his bladder.
Yeah.
And then once the doctors clear him of that, then he's good to go, and he'll be out of there, and then we'll get him go doing live shows within a week.
Sweet. Can't wait. It's been a long time. Be looking forward to hearing
Okay, cool. So I just want to give you an update, man. Thanks for being there. You got the best show on the internet.
Right on, Bat.
All right.
Thank you so much, Chris, man. We really appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
All right, man. See ya.
717-417-8284 is the number to call.
I must be in the eye of the hurricane. I must be in the cold right before the rain. I can't explain, I'm not the same. I keep looking, but I search in vain. Can't be seen by the naked eye. It comes and goes, but I don't know why. I see love in the naked eye.
Don't forget, tomorrow morning is a Sunday morning wake and bake. Where somehow, some way I scratch my way to the surface.
I was walking down the street, concentrating on trucking right. I heard a dark voice beside of me.
See, this is, the thing about this video for this song is exactly what we're talking about. He was walking down the street. He's trying to keep his trucking right. And he was wearing a fucking chain. If he wasn't wearing that chain, this song would have never happened.
And I looked round in a state of fright. I saw four faces, one mad, a brother from the gutter. They looked me up and down a bit and turned to each other.
See, man, he had his vacation costume on. He's wearing his Hawaiian shirt. He's got his Don Johnson jacket on, and he's got that chain. He's walking down the street. He's in his vacation costume. He's on vacation.
I say I don't like cricket. Oh no, I love it. I don't like cricket. No, no, I love it. Don't you walk through my words, got to show some respect. Don't you
This dude ain't taking no for an answer, really. He wants that chain.
Down at my silver chain. He said, I'll give you $1. I said, you got to be joking, man. It was a present from my mother.
He pulled out a picture of his mom out of his coat to say, hey, man, my mom gave me this chain. What do you mean? Buy it for $1.
He said, I like it, I want it, I'll take it off your hands and you'll be sorry. You cross me, you better understand that you're alone. A long way from home. I say, I don't like reggae, yeah. No, no.
All right. Who knew? I was just playing this song and all of a sudden it tied into what we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
You got a chain, don't wear it. You know? Someone might want to buy it for $1. You know, how much you want for the chain, man? I'll give you $1. It was a gift from his mother. You know, I guess it rhymed with dollar. So, all right. What's the number again? 717-417-8284.
Hey.
Somehow I memorized that bitch. I don't know.
Well, it's an easy number to remember, right? So that's why one of the reasons I picked it. It's kind of catchy.
They're saying make your own bread. Yeah, make your own butter. Get it's either 2 quarts or 2 half gallons. It doesn't matter. Either one, it'll work. 2 quarts of heavy cream, pour it in a bottle. 2 tablespoons of fucking yogurt, put it in there, seal it up, let it sit for 12 to 24 hours, and then whip that shit. Make your own butter. Because most of that shit in the store that says butter, it ain't butter.
Well, if you want like old school butter,
Make your own butter is what I'm saying. That's the butter I'm talking
all you
about.
do is take the cream and shake it.
Yeah.
Like for, they used to do it in a big, they called it a rocking table, right? It was just this big square table. It looked like like a big baking pan, basically. And you just kind of jiggle it back and forth, and it would just do that for, a couple hours, and it would just solidify and turn into butter.
You could jiggle it back and forth, or you could do like I said and let it culture for 12 to 24 hours, and then drop it in a mixer and mix it.
Well,
and then butter comes out, and then you have buttermilk that's left over.
The cultured butter is different than the straight up. I've noticed even if you buy the because it's ultra super duper extra pasteurized nowadays. If you buy like just heavy cream and you put it in a refrigerator door, if you have an older refrigerator that vibrates when the compressor kicks on, eventually it'll start turning to butter at the top. Well, like you can open the container and you can scoop out the soft stuff. It's like soft butter. It's already begun its transformation all on its own.
Well, you can be intentional in your action and make your own butter instead of buying that shit in the store. I'm telling you now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now. Honestly, it's literally mind-blowing how much synthetic shit is being poured into foods and brands that you trusted, that you grew up with, that you've seen for fucking 30 years. It's not the same shit.
No, it's not.
It isn't. And it's really, it's fucking frustrating because it doesn't matter. Even if you're not like a freak about it, if you weren't reading labels because it was too complicated to read that shit, and even when you read it, you know what the fuck you were reading anyway. But there was 90 things in there you didn't know what they were. Well, now the other 3 things that you knew what they were, they ain't in there anymore.
Yeah,
they're fucking out of there. So what are you gonna do, man? Well, at this point, you have to. It's said to be the most healthy way to eat, but you got to eat raw, dude. You got to eat fruits and vegetables and shit. And
Well, like I said, my diet now has basically been dug down to meat, real meat, eggs that come from chickens.
How do you know they come from chickens?
And some occasional vegetables.
How do you know they come from chickens?
90%, because I get to good
Do you buy them? Do you buy it from people that have chickens?
Sometimes, yes.
Well, those are the only ones that you know for
eggs.
sure. Everything else is suspect. They can make an egg in a fucking thing that looks like an egg.
Oh, I know. I know.
At this point, I think they can even grow eggs without chickens.
They might be able to.
They can. And then they go, yeah, here's the egg. What came first, the chicken or the egg? You know? Now they don't even need the chicken. Now what came first is the motherfucking egg, son. So now, if they have a fake egg, does it bore a fake chicken that turns into that fake chicken meat? Like
I'm not really sure how they grow the chicken meat.
Some slab comes out of the egg instead of a chicken. It's just they just take it and turn it into some, because it has genetic material in it, that they just take the egg and just make it into a patty or something. And then what the fuck do? They just genetically splice it and just turn it into something.
I don't know how they do it, man. But
why isn't this chop moving on this fucking screen?
Oh, I don't know. It's moving on mine.
No,
I mean not in the video, but it's
now it's moving.
Meat, eggs. I do eat a lot of cheese and dairy products. I use cream for things.
You better watch out. You better watch out.
The occasional vegetable, and that's about it.
You better watch out on that cheese, man.
No, it's real cheese. I get
How do
real
you know?
cheese.
How do you know it's real cheese?
You can tell.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Not unless you're looking. If you weren't trying to find out, you would never know. I'm telling you right now, man. They got this shit down to science, dude. You got to a point where you can't
sure
tell.
They do.
No, they do. There's no question. That's what I'm saying. That is why this shit is heinous. This is the heinous shit, man. This is worse than worse, man. This isn't even like starving a motherfucker out. This isn't even worse than starving a person out. This is that the person cannot afford to eat outside the box store. And so they're relegated to what's in the box, dude. Yeah. And let me out of the box, because there's nothing in there but fucking chemicals. It's a big box. It's half full. You know what I'm saying? People are that stupid. It's like, they're like, hey, Bill, I got an idea. Let's just fucking take half the shit out of the box and just leave the box the same size. And then people will think they're getting the same amount.
Yeah.
Fuck. Man, when you think about it, we've talked about it over the years. We've done shows about it. But really, this is the fucking company store model, where they released the slaves during the Industrial Revolution, but they still had to send 50% of whatever they made back to their slave owners. That's what this is, man. This is just like, it's been modified and modernized, but it's really the same thing. The script, company script on company paper. It's only good in the company store. You can't go outside the box, dude. You can't afford it. How can you afford to go outside the box, homie?
Well, it's funny because when you actually start eating food that has true nutritional value, like you get the kosher beef and you get the farm laid eggs, you don't have to eat that much, because it's there's actual nutrition to it, and it satisfies your body. You can get away with eating like an 8-ounce piece of meat and 3 eggs a day, and you know, you're perfectly healthy and fine with that because you're actually getting the nutrition you need.
Well, you better get yourself a chicken, homeboy. That's all I'm saying.
When you're eating the canned and the boxed stuff, you know, you got to eat like 6 times as much. So, yeah, the piece of steak and the better quality eggs cost a little more money, but in the long run, it really doesn't.
That's what I mean. See, you're still sitting there going, to be able to eat something good costs a little bit more money, and that's exactly what I'm saying, is that people who can't afford to spend a little bit more money have no choice but to eat the fucking poison, dude. And then they get sick from it.
What I'm saying is that even though you think you're spending more money, right? Like you say, oh, beef is expensive. It's, you know, $5 a pound. I can get, you know, 10 cans of soup for you know what I get a pound of meat for. But
you get 10 cans of soup for $50, dude.
Yeah,
soup is $5 a can.
I don't know where you're shopping, but soup ain't $5.
I shop at the grocery store. Whatever grocery store.
You got to get it on sale, man. It's $1 a can.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, well, it's $1 a can. Well, that shit's old. That shit's about to fucking be expired.
Yeah, well,
and
that's what
it's not.
But that's
it's
what
not
I'm saying.
about to be expired. It's full of a bunch of shit you don't want to eat.
Sitting 3D printed chicken, right? It's
sitting in a can that's lined with the shit that has the female hormone in it.
Yeah, BPA. Yeah.
Right. So.
Well, that's why you don't eat the canned food.
Well, you don't get a can of soup for $50, man. 10 cans for $50.
Like I said, $5 a can is, you know, expensive. I don't think soup is that expensive.
Well, I'll go.
I have some in in the closet.
I'm telling you, it is that expensive.
Backup. But
I'm telling you, it is. So you can take it to the bank. It is that expensive.
Well, you're also paying $7 a gallon for gas too, and I'm not. So.
Yeah, well, it was, you know, it was $4.50 a can before the gas went up. It's probably $9 a can by now. I don't even buy it anymore, because there was this one point where I was buying Progresso soups,
right?
And then there was this point where they went, for some reason something happened to it, and it just wasn't the same, and I quit buying it. But I still see it when I.
So what is it? What does a can of Progresso soup? I'm going to look it right up on my ShopRite app now and see what they're getting for a can of Progresso soup. Here, let's see.
Here, while you do that, let me play this. Here, take a listen to this. These are a bunch of Sam Altmans and a bunch of technology people. So without showing you the video, I'm just going to play it for you here. Take a listen.
You have an incredible amount of power at this moment in time.
Sam Altman.
Why should we trust you?
You should. I have a kid that was born in 2025. I don't think he'll ever be smarter than AI. I don't think that'll get in the way of his happiness or fulfillment at all. It's sort of strange, and also sort of to him like it's the only world he'll ever know.
Well, I love the idea of getting a drone and having light fentanyl laced your.
This is Alex Karp from Palantir. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not ready for this, man. Nobody's ready for this. Here.
It's the only world he'll ever know.
Well, I love the idea of getting a drone and having light fentanyl laced urine spraying on analysts who tried to screw us. So that's my lower purpose. But the higher
Did you just say fentanyl laced urine?
Yeah. Listen, I'll play it again. Here he is. Ready? This is why you don't even mention the name of this fucking company on here. That's why I said when we started talking about
he'll ever know.
Well, I love the idea of getting a drone and having light fentanyl laced urine spraying on analysts who tried to screw us. So that's my lower purpose. But the higher purpose for me was to get this nation to be the preeminent power in the world.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would,
this is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
So the primary source of death in Palestine is the fact that Hamas has realized that there are millions and millions of useful idiots.
I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it. And quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government.
The government should
control social media.
Yeah, should do that.
We were going to use technology to change the whole world and basically overturn the monetary system of the world. We could never win an election on getting certain things because we were in such a small minority. But maybe you could actually unilaterally change the world without having to constantly convince people and beg people and plead with people who are never going to agree with you through technological means. And this is where I think technology is this incredible alternative to politics.
We see a future where intelligence is a utility like electricity or water, and people buy it from us on a meter and use it for whatever they want to use it for.
We will actually make so many robots and AI that they will actually saturate all human needs. Meaning you won't be able to even think of something to ask the robot for at a certain point.
You have an incredible amount of power.
There's a jumping little juke joint way out in the sticks, half a mile down a dirt road off of Highway 6. It ain't near no town, ain't close no city. Those people get down till it's a doggone pity. Old Bishop's band's playing that low-down funk. Man, you ought to see that little low juke joint jump now. Jump, 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 jump. Jump, 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 jump. Jump, 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 jump. Jump, 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 jump. We pulled our pickup truck right up to the lot. Went up to the bar, got a double shot. Sat down at a table by the ladies' room door, checking out the chicks coming off of the floor. Everybody was mellow, about halfway drunk. Man, you ought to seen that little Lord juke joint jump well. Jump, 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 jump. 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 Jump, 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 jump.
Pretty soon you're gonna have to be outside the drone zone. Go to the juke joint down the dirt road somewhere where real people are playing real music.
Hey, the joint is jumping. Yeah, wear that piano out.
Every time I saw Elvin Bishop at the club when he played, it was fucking, it was sold out. And it was nothing but good vibes, man. Remember those pull tops they used to have on cans? Used to be a pull top.
Yeah.
Pull it off. He had one of those on on a fishing line. He wore it as a necklace.
Look at it. Big Jim called Johnny B a little sawed-off chump. Johnny B went outside, opened up his trunk, come back with a pistol, about as long as your leg. Big Jim went on his knees, began to beg. Somebody threw a bottle, knocked out the light. Women started screaming and men began to fight. Me and my buddy headed straight for the back door. My buddy made it, but I was just a little bit too slow. Woke up with my head all full of lumps. Man, you ought to seen that little old Jump.
It's funny, he mentioned Johnny B. I know Johnny B too.
Do you?
Yeah. Or Johnny B.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best bass players you'll ever see, man.
Making a vest out of pull tabs. What was that Charlie Daniels song where he goes, there's Elvin Bishop sitting on a bale of hay. He ain't good looking, but he sure can play.
Mm-hmm.
Some Charlie Daniels song. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm sure if Elvin Bishop ain't dead, he's half dead somewhere by now. I don't see how he could still be standing. Fuck. See, that's one of those things you can put one of these couple pictures of some Elvin Bishop gigs in AI, and all of a sudden it'll just create this whole scene that you can just virtual reality right into. You know?
Yeah.
That whole traveling thing, that's out. You want to travel? Travel virtual reality right now. Just get in there and fucking go back wherever you want to go. Immerse yourself in whatever decade you want to go to. I bet you people would do it. Especially if you existed in there. Like you were seeing through your eyes, you know, and walking around. You could look at your hand or whatever. Look in the mirror and see yourself. You know, walking around in some fucking reality. You know, wearing a costume. Going somewhere and doing something.
Yeah.
Why not?
Go.
Who wouldn't want to do it, especially if you're fucking old? You know? You know, some dude's like older dude, he's fucking, psst. You know what, man, I'm going to go back to the 80s or whatever. You could even go back to the other times when you weren't even in there. Go back to the 30s, if you want. Where you don't even know what it's like. You just dropped in, poof, you're in the 30s. There's a whole different value system. You know, people.
I would, you know, if there was time travel, you're right. First place I would probably, you know, stop in would be like the late 40s, early 50s, just to, you know, see how things were. You know, and maybe go back a little farther than that. But, you know, I wasn't around in the 40s and the 50s, but it always seemed like a very interesting era to me. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is that? The fuck is that? I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't know either.
Baby, spend some time with me.
Oh, that was some Elvin Bishop song.
No one was just busting out.
I forget what it is. It's a spiritual number. They did. They used to do some kind of gospel sounding shit. What's up, Chris?
Well, I mean, half of Motown stuff was gospel sounding.
Yeah.
That's where Motown sound came from, right? So
They used to have a yearly gospel sing-off over here at this church. I used to go to it every year. Be a bunch of gospel groups from all over the country.
Oh, I know who this is.
I know. See, I'm playing this for you, dude.
I'm the type of guy who will never settle down. Where pretty girls are, well, you know that I'm around. I kiss them and I love them, cause to me they're all the same. I hug them and I squeeze them, they don't even know my name. They call me the Wanderer, yeah, the Wanderer. I roam around. Oh, well, there's Flo on my left arm and there's Mary on my right. And Janie is the girl, well, that I'll be with tonight. And when she asks me which one I love the best, I tear open my shirt and I show her Rosie on my chest. Cause I'm a wanderer, yeah, a wanderer. I roam around. Oh, well, I roam from town to town. I go through life without a care.
All right, let him have it.
How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head?
717-417-8284. It's the number to call.
I hugged her and she hugged back. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? My head keeps spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. I've sunshine enough to spread. It's just like the fella said. Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head? Like the fella once said,
they call you Lady Luck, but there is room for doubt. At times you have a very unladylike way of running out. You're on this date with me. The pickings have been lush. And yet before this evening is over, you might give me the brush. You might forget your manners. You might refuse to stay. And so the best that I can do is
sorry, black people, to break the news. So, God, this is gorgeous.
Kraft mac and cheese is selling orange powder and calling it dinner. The noodles are refined wheat tubes stripped down and boxed like empty carbs waiting for paint.
Then comes the packet, a neon cheese dust built from whey, milk fat, salt, and coloring, designed to explode into a fake creamy sauce the second it hits butter and milk. That orange glow is not homemade cheese. It is shelf-stable powder engineered to look richer than it is. One box can turn into a salty, processed bowl of soft pasta, dyed sauce, and childhood addiction chemistry. This is not real mac and cheese. It is powdered dairy sludge poured over refined starch and sold as comfort food.
God, this is... I've stopped smoking weed. With black people, you didn't let me finish, motherfuckers. God damn. I'm sorry, black people, to break the news so publicly, but I can't smoke with you anymore. Every time I smoke weed with my black friends, all you talk about is your trials and tribulations. I'm sick of that shit. I got my own problems. That's a waste of weed. I'm smoking weed to run away from my problems, not take on yours. From now on, I smoke weed exclusively with white people. Calm down, motherfuckers. You win by default. You got good weed conversation. All white people talk about when they get high is other times that they got high. I can listen to that shit all night. Dude, remember at Frank's last week? It's fucking smashed, man. And catalogs everything they drink. 2 shots of Jaeger, tequila, 4 bong hits, man, beer, cheeseburger. That shit is great. Only bad part is you cannot pass out around white people. Every time white dudes pass out around each other, they always do some borderline gay shit when the guy's asleep. Frank fell asleep, so he stuck a carrot in his ass and put shaving cream on his balls. Why'd you do that to a friend of yours? He trusted you enough to sleep around you, you gonna put a carrot in his ass? Is that nice? I tell you right now, if I put a carrot in a black dude's ass, that nigga will kill you when he wakes up for some shit like that. That is an automatic death sentence on the street. It's a rap for you. I'm gonna kill that motherfucker. I thought y'all was friends, baby. What happened? I fell asleep at his house, right? We was drinking, and I fell asleep at his house, and while I was sleeping, right? I'm just gonna kill that motherfucker, all right? That's all you need to know. Carrots.
I know the way you've treated
I've stopped smoking weed.
guys you've been
With black people, you didn't
be a lady with me. A lady doesn't leave
They're
her
quietly trying to
escort.
sweep this under the rug, but the internet holds receipts. Check this out.
In that you do not really understand the concept of banking. All the banks are broke. Bank Santander, Deutsche Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, they're all broke. And why are they broke? It isn't an act of God. It isn't some sort of tsunami. They're broke because we have a system called fractional reserve banking, which means that banks can lend money that they don't actually have. It's a criminal scandal, and it's been going on for too long. And most of the problem starts in politics and central banks, which are part of the same political system. We have counterfeiting, sometimes called quantitative easing, but counterfeiting by any other name. The artificial printing of money, which if any ordinary person did, they'd go to prison for a very long time. And yet governments and central banks do it all the time. Central banks repress the amount of interest that rates are, so we don't have the real cost of money. And yet we blame the real retail banks for manipulating LIBOR. The sheer effrontery of this is quite astonishing. It's central banks that manipulate interest rates, Commissioner. And plus, underneath all this, we talk loosely, in a rather cavalier fashion, do we not, about deposit guarantees. So when banks go broke through their own incompetence and chicanery, the taxpayer picks up the tab. It's theft from the taxpayer.
They're quietly trying to sweep this under the rug, but the internet holds receipts. Check this out.
In that you do not really understand the concept of banking. All the banks are broke. Bank Santander, Deutsche Bank.
All the banks are broke. So be careful. 717-417-8284 is the number to call. All right. There it goes. Polynation, what's happening? All right, stand by. I got some other windows here. I got to see if I got to everything. Make sure I did. Oh, here's one of those videos. Here, take a look at this. Just look at this, real quick. Check this out. Here.
Jimmy, we have a caller.
That's too bad. No. Go ahead. Hey, caller, what's happening?
What's up, Eric?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Jimmy, thank you. I want to thank you for playing the Dean Martin and the Sinatra. It's good stuff.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You're welcome.
Classing up the joint.
Yeah, man. So what's happening?
I was just going to ask you, Rio, too. Is it as cold as it is by me, by you, Rio? It's a weird Memorial Day.
Well, yeah, it was 98 degrees here on Wednesday, and Thursday it was 52. Was the high?
Now it's like
was the high on Thursday. So
Hold on. Sorry.
It has been cold and rainy here, definitely.
Yeah, it's cold here. It's
Well, I mean,
definitely cold.
last week I was watching the weather analyst guy on YouTube, and he was there was actually a potential for snow to happen this week here, but the temperatures were actually the low temperature I think on Thursday night was like 42, so it didn't get into snow territory. It was still rain territory, but I was kind of wondering if you guys up there had snow.
No, that definitely would have been a record for how late.
Yeah.
Well,
it was 95 here on the East Coast, right? I don't know how high you got up the other day, but there was a blizzard going on in the Midwest at the same time, and it was like some record of like 430 weather warnings in one day for across the country. There was a record-setting day for the number of weather events. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
all the
go ahead. Yeah.
All the scientists that knew about the coming cataclysm have been disappeared or they're suicided. Did you see the note? Did you see the
number
note?
11 just disappeared, right? Something like that.
Did you see the note that one of them wrote about the coming cataclysm?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, wow.
There's a note. I can't remember the lady's name right now. We could talk about it on Friday night though, coming up. I had a couple perspectives I wanted to share that I didn't bring to the table tonight. I wasn't feeling well last night, and so I was going to bring it to the table last night. So it's a pretty healthy discussion. So we'll hold that off till next Friday. But we got a couple minutes left here before the end of the hour. So
So did you guys have a show last night? I don't think you did, right?
No, I had to take the night off last night. I was feeling really under the weather.
Oh, okay.
Got a hold of some bad food. Hence, not really why I was saying what I was saying tonight, but I'm just saying in general. I mean, I don't see myself in the future. I mean, I have all these clothes, and I have clothes where I could go look nice somewhere if I had some reason to do it. But like I was saying earlier, it doesn't seem like there's any reasons to go do any of that anymore, because I don't see myself going to some restaurant and sitting there and having dinner somewhere. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I don't trust restaurants anymore, and I especially don't trust fast food restaurants. You know what I mean? So, I mean, really, I'm in my work clothes, and then I come home and I'm in my relaxation clothes. And I got this whole closet full of shit that, you would wear if you're going out, going somewhere, doing something. But it doesn't seem like people really do much of that anymore. Do you do that? Do you get all dressed up and go out to dinner? Or take your mom out there, take somebody out to dinner, make a whole production out of it where you're all dressed up and, you act nice and all that. I mean, do you do that anymore?
If you're going with a girl or something, maybe. But a lot of people after COVID, like the last little bit of 20th century, go out on the townness, and there's like nowhere to, like, there's no dance halls anymore or anything like that. So it's.
See, I'm feeling the same way. I think, I think that that way of being in society, I think, has changed. That whole dynamic has changed to a point where it's, it's not the same. People don't have the same needs that they had before, even for all this consumerism. In other words, there doesn't need to be all this shit. People are wearing sweats everywhere. You know what I mean? People, it's like been casual Friday. It used to be people would wear suits 4 days a week, but on Friday you could wear a t-shirt to work. You know what I mean? And so slowly it's turned into like t-shirts every day, not sweats. Now some people, they're just doing Zoom. They don't even have pants on anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jeffrey Tubin.
Yeah. All right, it's time for us.
See you next.
It's time for us to GTFO, man. Don't forget Sunday morning wake and bake tomorrow. And hey, we had a bunch of, it's quite a few people listen to it from last week, so it was good to see. And so we'll be back tomorrow.
The whole truth of the law of sowing and reaping. You could lose. There are times when you just lose, no matter what you do. It's that kind of planet. The farmer plants his crop in the spring, takes care of it all summer, works 10, 12 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week, is an honorable man. Come fall, he's got a beautiful crop. But the day before he sends the combines into the field, a hailstorm comes along and beats it all in the ground, which means you lose. Somebody says, well, what did he do wrong? Answer, nothing. You reap what you sow. Yes, but... What does that mean? Yes, but... Well, sometimes it's going to hail on your crop and rain on your parade, so you got to get ready for that or you will be naive. And here's part of the whole truth of the law of sowing and reaping. You could lose. There are times when you just lose, no matter what you do. It's that kind of planet.
Pink moon over the boardwalk, cherry lights flicker and fade. Your shadow moved beside me, lurking in the shade. Cotton candy hurricane, blue mascara running wild. The 7 seas and 7 winds, Poseidon rose and looked at me and smiled. Everybody looked electric underneath the melting sky. Ferris wheels were turning slowly like the pupil of your eye. Pink moon over the boardwalk, treasures 1, 2, 3. You said, nobody gets out clean, then disappeared beneath the sea. A little honey on the tongue tastes sweet, till your heartbeat skips inside the beat. You move slow underneath the lights, like a fever dream in black and white. You said, baby, don't look down, while the room went spinning round and round. Oh, a little honey on the tongue tastes sweet, till it drips like gold down to your feet. A little honey on the tongue tastes sweet, till it turns your blood to white hot heat. Perfume, smoke, and cinema eyes, neon angels telling pretty lies. Everybody sways in time, like we're drowning in electric wine. here is real.